Hey, welcome to Blue Jay Banner, sponsored by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally here on our YouTube channel. First, thanks for joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and also the like button so you can share this with all Jays fans. Tim Kruger, along with Ross Ferrarini and our producer, Zach Weaver. What's going on, Ross?
Not a whole lot. Just, still trying to navigate, these kids entering the transfer portal near the 4th of July. Just Javon Quinterly doing that.
Yeah, what's up with that?
God, who knows? But I've just been taking in a lot of NBA draft content. So if you need any, I guess as it pertains
to
no, I mean as it pertains to our league, Tim, we had some guys. We had some guys go. We had in the first round, Jordan Hawkins went ahead of Cam Whitmore, which was a shock to everybody. Cam Whitmore really dropped down the board to 20, which most people thought he'd be a top 10 guy. And then I think you had Jordan Hawkins maybe at 14, Cam Whitmore at 20, and I think Olivier Maxence Prosper from Marquette, I think, went 24.
24, 25, yeah, he's down there. He's I don't even try and put in my 2 cents because I have no idea what they want in the NBA. Like, I would think Sanogo would be like a perfect NBA guy, but what do I know?
And then Colby Jones, I think, went 33 or something.
He's athletic, and I can see that. But I wouldn't put him on a team way before some of these other guys. That's for sure. I don't know.
You want to know what's really crazy is I just Googled Colby Jones. Went to the same high school as our guy Ty Davis.
I understand that. Yes. Yeah, I know he did.
That's pretty interesting. I didn't realize that.
Was like Drew Timme, was he a guy that just didn't have a position in the NBA?
Yeah, he's a little bit of a tweener. He's just not athletic enough. I don't think he showed his athleticism for that type of level. I mean, he can't, those kind of moves, and obviously his footwork is fantastic, and he's a great finisher. His game is just so suited to the college level that stuff like that doesn't work on NBA bigs.
I didn't think he'd get drafted. I just was wondering.
And he's got and I mean, especially in today's day and age, a guy like him, if you can't step out and consistently knock down jumpers, really, quite honestly, from three, but he doesn't even have the ability to really do that from about 15 feet. So it's a no-go on a guy like him.
Well, that's probably going to be the extent of our NBA talk tonight. But anyway, it's a very big night for us. We've got the newest recruit just committed today. Ty Davis is going to join us here in about 10 minutes. So we're excited to introduce Ty to Omaha. Going to be the first time people have heard him speak, and got to take a look at him. And he's got a tremendous long distance range, but he looks at himself as a pass first guy. So it'll be interesting to talk to Ty about, his recruitment, what were impressions about Creighton and facilities in Omaha and where he came from and why he chose Creighton and what does he see himself? He's kind of listed as a point guard, but I look at him and I say, hey, he's at like 165 now. He's probably going to, put on some weight and some bulk either, this year or maybe in a redshirt year, freshman year, what have you. I can see him being more of a 2 than a 1, down the road.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say today's day and age, it doesn't really matter as much.
No, and and the thing about Creighton is and I guess we're gonna get to see it this year, right? Coming year. But we've always had the traditional point guard, a smaller guy who could really handle the ball, run the show. We went from R2, and he replaced Zagorowski, who replaced, help me out,
Davion Mintz,
and Watson, and
Maurice Watson.
Yeah.
And before them was Austin Chapman.
Before that, it was Dotzler. It just
Antoine Young.
Antoine Young, yeah. So they were all, the 6'1", 6'2", quick, that type of point guard. Now we're going to go into maybe guys not quite as quick. Yeah, although I think his athleticism will surprise people, but a guy who's more of a shooter and a scorer at point guard. And then when he's not in there, we'll probably go with Trey, a little different type of point guard. So we're transitioning maybe into a different type of point guard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the bigger, if you can have a bigger guard that can still really get people involved and obviously have the range that this, Ty Davis seems to have, and it really sets a premium on, our offense sets a premium on shooting the basketball. I mean, it sounds really like a kind of a great fit.
Right. The other thing too is, we kind of trended toward the bigger point guard there. It looked like that was the way it was going to go with Dunn at Providence. And then it kind of faded away again. Then it went back to kind of the smaller guys. I mean, not that Gillespie is small, but he's not 6'5", 6'6" or anything, those type of guys. Kolek's another, what's he, 6'3". We've never gone to that big 6'8", like when we went up against Arkansas, they could throw some 6'6", 6'7" guys out there at point,
Yeah, but the difference is, none of those guys can shoot. And we've, as we kind of go back, all of those point guards that we've had were at least capable shooters. Some better than others, obviously. I mean, it's not like Austin Chapman and Maurice Watson were knockdown 3-point shooters, but they were capable 3-point shooters. I mean, you look at a team like at Arkansas last year. Yeah, they've got Anthony Black and Nick Smith when he was healthy, and some of these other guys, Ricky Council, some of these other guys that are kind of fit the prototype of what like an NBA guard would look like, but none of them could shoot, from the outside, and that made
Black
it really
fill
difficult.
it up against us. I thought Black filled it up.
Black did. He killed us, but I'm talking about really throughout the course of the season. I mean, Arkansas was one of the first 3-point shooting teams.
Nick Smith he was hurt so much last year that you never really got to see him. I mean, I watched they worked him out before the Creighton game, and I was sitting right up next and watching. Man, he's a talent. Holy cow! I mean, he looked. if that's hurt, he's better than most of the guys healthy. That's what I was sitting there thinking to myself. But yeah. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see how this all morphs and takes place, and if we go to a bigger point guard in the future, and so on and so forth. The game evolves and changes, and things happen, and it is kind of interesting. The game kind of went away. The college game went away from the bigger fives, and now the smaller. Yeah, went to smaller fives, went away from bigger fives, and now college game is, littered with 7-footers, 7'2" guys, all 7'4" guys all over.
Yeah, I think we've really seen throughout the past number of years, you can win either way. I mean, you can win with traditional bigs, you can win playing small. You've got to. I mean, especially at the college level, you have to have NBA caliber guys. Otherwise, you've just got no shot.
Well, look at us. We won with Bishop. We won with Kalkbrenner.
Totally.
Yeah.
Two completely different 5 men, and we made it work with both, with the supporting cast around them. So, it's an interesting point. There does seem to be some really, really big guys, in the country anymore that are pretty darn effective.
Yeah. By the way, if you're just joining us, Ty Davis will join us here in about 5 minutes. So stay tuned for that. We'll also touch base with a few other things as well. And if you haven't heard, Ty just committed today, and we are ready to have Ty join us right now. Hey, Ty, how's it going?
What's going on? How are you?
Very good. Well, I like you repping the Creighton gear already.
Yes, sir.
Ty Davis is Ross Ferrarini, former Jay, and you and I have chatted already. Zach Weaver's our producer. Great to see you, Ty. I know Omaha's excited for you to come, excited for you to get to see you and hear you for the first time. I think we'll just start off, just kind of tell us where you grew up, where you played your high school ball at, and where you are playing your high school ball at, and your family a little bit, and what's in your life.
Yeah, so obviously I'm Ty Davis. I am from Birmingham, Alabama. I go to Mountain Brook Y'all might be familiar with that. That's where I play. Colby Jones played there. He played at Xavier.
Yeah,
So
we were just talking about that.
yeah, so I go to Mountain Brook, Colby, and Trendon Watford also. He plays for the Portland Trailblazers now. So my dad's my head coach.
Oh, wow.
And my he played at Samford. And my mom played at Samford as well, Samford University here in Birmingham. And then I have a little brother and sister as well. My brother's going to be on varsity this year. My sister's actually going into 8th grade, but she's going to be on the girls' varsity team as well.
What was your team last year?
Oh, we lost in the state championship game.
Oh, well, okay. That's pretty good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How has your day been?
It's been good. It's been a fun day.
So walk me through kind of what you went through today.
Yeah, so really, I called Coach Mack and just kind of was like, I just want to be a Blue Jay. I know I feel my heart's in Omaha, and he was really pumped up, and Coach JC Dub started screaming, and it was just a good day talking to those guys and everything. So it was fun.
So was Jalen? Jalen's a good friend of our show. Was he your main recruiter?
Yes, sir. He was.
Okay, awesome. He is a great dude, man.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Has he been getting any sleep since he got that new baby?
Not too much. Not too much.
Okay, so you really just let Coach know today.
So I called him Saturday and let him know. But obviously today was kind of the big day to really.
Sure.
But Saturday is when I really let them know, and they were pumped up.
Well, yeah, that way Coach, could relax when he went out and played his 36 holes of golf,
No, for sure.
All right.
Ty, I'm curious, how's your AAU season gone this year so far? Yeah. And what's the AAU team that you play for? And what are some of the tournaments that you guys have on docket for July?
Yeah, so I play on the Under Armour circuit. We were a Rise team, actually. So the Rise, like the UAA and the Rise are kind of two like they're the same thing, but the Rise is just not actual UAA. They're both playing the same gym and everything. We went 9-1 on the Rise circuit, so we got moved up to the UAA finals in July. So I think we start next Thursday, the 6th. Will be our first live. It'll be the finals, first one for July. We go to Atlanta. We play at Lake Point, and then I think it's maybe the 14th. We go to Vegas for our final tournament, and so. No, it's been a really good season. I think we're like 18-3 on the season. And so, but we went 9-1 on the circuit.
Is this mostly Birmingham area kids or kind of all throughout Alabama?
Oh, yeah. We've got
other place in the South?
Yeah, it's kind of southeast a little bit. We've got 3 Birmingham kids. We've got about, I think 4 from Huntsville and then 2 from Atlanta.
Okay.
But then on the other teams, we've got kids from other states as well, but that's just our 17U team.
So tell us when did your recruitments kind of start ramping up here? Did you see some more interest after the spring? And we saw that obviously you had Oregon and Northwestern,
correct,
kind of in the mix there as well. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know Oregon's head coach used to be our head coach.
Yeah, Coach Altman. Yeah,
Coach Altman, and he's a good guy. So
no, for sure.
Kind of curious when your recruitment really started to ramp up here, and you felt comfortable making a decision.
Yeah, so my recruitment really, like, it's been since June 15th last year. It's kind of been a crazy process. I played up 17U last year, so coaches kind of already knew me a little bit. But then it really, really amped up after the Phoenix live period, which is the first live period for us in the spring. So then after that, we kind of just got really amped up. Like, my recruitment got really amped up. That's when JC Dub called me for the first time, and we really started, building a relationship. And then I took an official visit out to Oregon early May. And then obviously last week was my next official to Creighton. And then I went to Northwestern at the end of the week last week. But, just building the relationship with Coach McDermott and Coach Miller and Coach DK and JC Dub, it's just been a really, really good time getting to know those guys.
A lot of obviously really good basketball schools right in your area. Did any of those show any interest?
Yeah, so Alabama was the hardest on me out of the schools around here. So Sanford was on me really, really hard just because, Coach
sure.
McMillan, he's from Mountain Brook, and I've known him since I was like 2 or 3 years old. So, that was just kind of thing. My dad played there as well, so maybe they could sneak in the mix. But, Coach Oates in Alabama, they were on me pretty hard, but they were kind of taking their time. So I was just like, I've already found my home, so there's no reason to wait on anything.
Yeah. You talked to yourself, you said that you're a pass first guy.
Yeah.
Tell the folks just a little bit about your game, basically.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm a playmaking guard. I like to play out of the pick and roll. I like to just make the right play. So whether that's me getting in the paint and kicking out, or me getting in the paint and finishing, kind of whatever the game calls for. But I really just like to, Coach Mack thinks my vision is the best part of my game. So I like to, make plays out of ball screens and make plays in transition for my teammates. And then also I do like to shoot from deep and, finish. I've been able to get more athletic, so finish above the rim now as well.
Sure. So you came to Creighton for a visit. Just tell us about the whole visit and what you were impressed with.
Yeah, so we came last Sunday after the live period. We flew out, and we got there, and we really just, we had a good time hanging out first and touring everything and seeing everything. And we went to dinner that night, one of the chop houses out there. I'm not sure what the name of it was, but
801.
I think so. I think that's what it was.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good. But J Law, Fred, Mason, Trey, and Brock all came to that. And so just, being already having a relationship with the coaches, but like getting to know those guys was just a big thing for me. They really, they really made me feel at home when I was out there. After dinner, we were able to go back to the gym and hang out and, just really chat it up and have a good time. And then just the coaching, the entire staff while I was there really made me feel like at home, like really special, and just made me feel like I was a priority.
What did you think of the facilities?
I feel like they're top of the line. I went to a couple, Oregon obviously, and Northwestern as well. But I mean, their facilities are top of the line. Like they're unbelievable. I love the arena as well, or where y'all play.
Yeah, pretty cool walking in there and seeing all those NBA guys' pictures up on the wall, huh?
Yeah, it's sick. It's really cool. Doug and Corver and all those guys.
Now, do you have plans to come to a game?
For sure. I don't have it set, but I'll come on another official this year, so I'll be able to come to a game. So that'll be fun.
Cool. Yeah. When you say, you can come when Alabama comes.
Yeah, I could. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. So, yeah, I remember that because we're gonna go. I guess we're gonna be playing at Bama my freshman year, huh?
There you go.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Lucky guy.
I know, right?
And we'll probably have a pretty big MTE that year too. Since we're going to Kansas City this year, we'll probably have a big one your freshman year. So that'll be a lot of fun too. What was the turning point, the difference between you going, say, to Northwestern, or Oregon, or Alabama, or coming here?
The culture and the style of play, really. Obviously Coach Mack, I mean, he's like, he just really he just really caught me. Like, I don't know, I just really enjoyed his time and the entire staff and the guys as well. But just obviously he's built the culture up there tremendously. I've got a great culture going, and then just him, like he said, y'all average 17,000 fans per game. I mean, that's huge to me. You always dream about playing in front of big crowds like that. And obviously the Big East is, the best basketball conference in the nation. So playing in front of big fans in the best conference, I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that.
No, it doesn't. We hear a lot about culture from recruits and so forth. Mm-hmm. You went on your visit. You said you hung around with the players. What was it that you felt from them about the culture?
Really just like they're just good guys. They're not too like big time. Trey obviously could be, next year he could be a big time NBA draft pick. And just all like Baylor and all those guys, like they're just a bunch of good, good fun guys to hang around. And they love hooping. They're in the middle of their summer grind, like where they're playing workouts and stuff, and then they're in there that night after dinner, shooting and playing 2-on-2 and just working out and stuff. So like just the culture of how each player loves to play the game, but they're also good guys as well.
So you talked about playing around. Did you get a chance to shoot around,
Yeah.
play in a scrimmage and a
Yeah.
game, and so forth? So who really who popped out at you and went, wow, that dude's pretty good.
Yeah. Fred was
Fred
balling.
is
That's a big
Fred's
dude.
crazy.
That's a big dude.
And I think he's the backup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Cog wasn't there that night. But then also I got to see the next day. I didn't meet him that night, but Isaac Trout, he's a big dude too, but looks like he's shoots at a really high clip, and for a big guy especially. And then obviously I watched the guards work out the next day, so Baylor and all those, big time fun guys to watch, or in their Trey and all those guys. So that was fun to watch as well.
Yeah, really. Now have they really, Creighton really truly, you hear this a lot, but it is true. Creighton's really positionless. Like once we get the ball down into a half court, everybody switches position other than the five, right?
No, exactly. Yeah.
So but beyond that, did they talk to you about, well, we're looking at, obviously, we're looking at you as a two or maybe a point guard. What are did they really get into that at all?
A little bit, not too much, but just kind of like being 6'5", I'm able to play multiple positions. But they said kind of the combo guard role where I could be the point some and I could be off the ball some as well. But, he just sees good opportunity to play as a freshman with hopefully Trey going to the draft and some of those seniors leaving.
Baylor gone, yeah.
Exactly. There's gonna be some spots to fill. So
Francisco will be gone, yeah.
Exactly. So he likes my height, being able to guard multiple positions as well as being able to play the one and the two.
So what, in watching those guys and just what you know of yourself, what do you think one or two things that you're really going to have to work on this year and then once you get on campus?
Really, like, probably my biggest thing is just physicality, how much stronger everybody is in the game. There's 24-year-olds playing college basketball now, which is crazy. To think about someone that could be 6 years older than me, especially my freshman year. It's the last year for the COVID and all that stuff. So really just the physicality and the speed of the game, getting used to the speed of the game. So I'm going to try to watch as much film as I can and get in the weight room as much as I can. So I'm prepared physically for whenever I get there. Yeah,
we talked to freshmen, we talked to Ben Schultzberg last year, and he was like, it took him a long time before it slowed down because he just couldn't believe the pace Creighton plays. It's just an amazing pace. And like you said, it's positionless, and but you can guard multiple positions. Now, you were talking about a lot of guys that are probably not going to be there next year. Almost all of them are going to be there. So, was that like a big decision too? Like you're able to come in and contribute fairly early in your career.
Yeah, you always want to go somewhere where you have an opportunity to play. You don't want to go and sit the bench, but just going to a culture that's a winning culture, so. Even if those guys were to still be there, that's still like a fun thing I'd get to experience would be to go to play in the Elite Eight, hopefully a Final Four or a national championship, So just obviously with there being opportunity there, that does take into factor that did take into factor when I was making a decision how there was going to be some opportunity. So yeah, it did factor into it.
Our producer Zach has watched a little bit of tape on you, and he said that you're kind of going to fit right in the Creighton mode. You're a guy who likes to jack it up from, the logo at the center court.
Yeah, so I do shoot it pretty deep, I've been blessed with the ability to shoot, and so I've really worked on being able to shoot consistently from the line and then also from NBA range and deeper, hopefully, sometimes.
Now, when you were here with any other recruits, or was just you on a solo visit?
No, sir, it was just me.
Okay, cool. So you're going to Vegas on the 15th.
Correct.
Atlanta on the 8th. So you got a busy couple of weeks ahead of you here.
Yes, sir.
What about last thing? What about the campus in the city of Omaha?
Oh yeah, the city. So obviously coming from Birmingham, you don't know what expecting to hear it's in a city. I just see UAB. It's nothing like UAB at all. It's a beautiful campus, and it's a clean city. So it looks like it's a really fun and nice place to live. Obviously it is, with the College World Series being there, and just all the guys love it there. So I love the campus and the city.
Yeah. Well, you talked about the weight room. Ross
Yeah.
and I can attest. Some of those guys were not very big just a couple of years ago.
For sure.
I know Trey probably jumps out at me as a guy who's put on a lot of muscle, a lot of weight just the short time he's been here.
For sure.
So, yeah, we've got a great training staff and a great weight room, and you'll fit right in. Well, Ty, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah. I
really appreciate it. And we're going to check back in with
Ty.
you during the season, okay?
Awesome. Thank y'all.
All right. Thanks, Ty.
All right. See you.
It's Ty Davis, Creighton's new recruit. We say this about every recruit, Ross, but man, that guy's got a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize he played for his dad, who's his head coach too.
Yeah.
That's certainly helps matters as far as probably a kid that really knows the game and has a high IQ and knows how to play within the game. So that you certainly like that listening to him. But yeah, he seemed like a great kid who really likes to compete. And yeah, I'm happy we were able to snag a kid like him that can really shoot it.
Well, he's got a lot of people around that can give him advice on playing for a dad. We've got quite a few with Doug and Mason now playing for his uncle, and it's been on and on.
Yeah.
Did you see the interview? Somebody nabbed Doug outside downtown, just asked him about the Spurs and so forth. Did you happen to see that interview?
I didn't know.
So Doug goes, so he's talking, it's just hilarious. He's talking, he goes, yeah, and I'm playing for an all-time great coach. And he stops for a second, he goes, well, not my dad, but so great.
That's funny.
So there you have it, Ty Davis, new recruit. We'll check in with him. I think we should send Jeremy to Vegas. Scope out
I think you should send me to Vegas.
All right, go. I'm not going to pay for anything, but go to Vegas. Scope this out, would you? Yeah, it's probably one thing I've regretted I didn't ask him. I was just going to ask him, like, it's always fun to ask those guys, like, who's the best guy you played against in AAU or high school or whoever, Sometimes you get some interesting answers on guys like that.
They play at a high level. They play against some really top level kids. So it is interesting to hear what they say about that.
We want to thank Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. They've been our outstanding title sponsor for a long time. Thank you to Doug Nodgaard and his crew at Equitable Bank. Also, West Pacific Dental Group. Dr. Robert Hogan and his staff, they're my dentist. Make them your dentist too. They are also, once again, this year, the title sponsor of our golf tournament. So it's the West Pacific Dental Group Blue Jay Banner Golf Tournament. Let's talk about that a second. August 19th. A lot of people who have not yet signed up, but who have told me they're going to play are starting to sign up. So if you're just thinking about it, you need to jump onto our website, bluejaybannergolf.com. Jump on there, sign up today. If you don't have your whole foursome, not a problem. You can put TBD, to be determined. Just get your name in there. Get a spot locked in for yourself. So you don't miss out on the best value tournament in the Metro. We have $5,000 worth of prizes, pin prizes, raffle prizes, and then not only that, we have the silent auction items, which are usually second to none.
Do you have a foursome yet?
Ross is going to be there.
Tim, do you have a foursome yet? Are you locked in with your foursome?
I just usually block out a couple, because I usually have a bunch of people that I know are going to play. So
I might have to play with you. I'm having a tough time. A lot of people I've reached out to are out of town that weekend.
Okay. Yeah, no, we got a spot for you, Ross.
All right.
We got a spot for you. So, yes, absolutely, you can play with me. But still, look, sometimes we have like twosomes that you join in. And by the way, you can, if you're single, sign up. We can pair you up with somebody. If you're twosome, it's mostly all Jays fans, so you're going to enjoy it. Enjoy talking Jays.
Yep.
And we usually have a fair amount of Creighton staff there as well. So sign up today, bluejaybannergolf.com. Get signed up. We got a $500 putting contest. We have several cruises to give away this year, cruise trips. And we're going to have one for close to the pin on one of the holes for a cruise trip. So
cruise trips?
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's kind of intense.
That's intense.
That's a good.
That's why we have guys like Zach
gift.
out there making sure nobody cheats.
Yeah. I mean, I told you this last year. The winning score, whatever, of like 21 under. Whoever claimed they had that last year, I'm not so. We gotta be. We can't let people have a million mulligans and whatnot.
Again, I'm going to tell you, I know the group that shot 21 under par, and they probably reached every par 5 and 2. They probably reached a couple of par 4s there and 2. So that's probably 3 eagles right there. That's 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 906 holes.
Yeah, but
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I've played with local Joes on 13 out of Shoreline that drive the green from those back tees. Cut it all the way across the water. I mean, there's some big, huge sticks run around here. I played with a couple. By the way, I played with a guy from Field Club the other night in the league. He was subbing, and he was sub. His buddy asked him, and he came over and subbed over at Players Club.
I didn't realize you could do that.
I didn't either. Didn't either. But speaking of two guys that could hit the ball an absolute country mile, but you just never knew where it was going to go.
I hear you. Hey, any more news on? Have you heard anything else on what our non-conference schedule is going to look like?
I have.
Okay.
We can't talk about it though.
You can't talk about it.
No. However, if you go to bluejaybanner.com in the next couple of days, we'll have that for you. Probably next week. Yeah. I mean, we already know most of it. I mean, we know the MTE in Kansas City. All right. Yep. We're going to be on the road at Nebraska, home to Alabama.
On the road at Iowa?
No, we're home to Iowa.
Oh, home against Iowa.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because it's in the middle of the week.
Yes, it's like a Thursday, I want to say. Home to Iowa. We're on the road to Oklahoma State after Thanksgiving.
Got it. Okay.
And then
those are the big ones
in there, and we're going to have. I think one game's already been announced. I believe Texas Southern. I believe. Yeah, that's one that was announced already.
Do we know if the Alabama game is a weekend game or not?
I believe. I want to say the only time they could fit that in is after the Nebraska game and after finals. So It's either a midweek. It could be a midweek. Could be a weekend. Could be a Friday, maybe. I don't know. Because, it used to be you could kind of guess and figure it out. But now with that Big East schedule starting in December, you kind of got to clear your books because you don't know when you're going to play.
Yeah.
And especially if, there's talk that they were going to give Creighton that Christmas game again. But I'm not sure if they are or not.
Yeah, that would. I can't imagine we get that a second year in a row, but.
They were just saying because they just loved it. They loved the turnout. They just loved everything about it. And they loved the fact that because they want to have it after football, they can squeeze, it's at a decent time here rather than on the East Coast where it's like more toward 4:30, 5 o'clock. And then people have Christmas dinner, nighttime dinners,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That was their, I don't know. But they just said they were really happy with the crowd. And it was a good crowd.
That was a great crowd.
Yeah, it was a good crowd. So, I mean, I know my wife's probably not thrilled with it, like we're going to do this every year type thing. But I like what Coach Mack and I agree on this. He's like the same thing. What do? You have dinner, then you lay on the couch and watch some football or NBA game. Why not?
Everyone just lays around.
Why not just go to the Creighton game, So I kind of like that. But
I'm with them.
Anyway, yeah, so basically the only thing we don't know is a couple of bye games, which we'll fill in, and I'm sure it'll be the same usual suspects on that front. So, but anyway, golf tournament we talked about. We have to set Ross. We have to set up our golf match at some point.
We do.
We're 1 month through summer already.
Yeah, well, we'll talk offline. I'm pretty available the next next few weekends, to be honest. So we'll talk offline and coordinate.
Sure. And then next week is like a holiday week, so some people are off Monday. Fortunately, Ross and I aren't, but we got last Monday off, which is cool. Hey, how was the Twins game? First of all, before we get into that,
It's awesome.
Twins lost. They stunk up the joint at night.
There's a free T-Pain concert after the Twins game.
Yes,
awesome.
That's right. Yep, that's right.
Ton of fun. But that's one of my favorite stadiums. I mean, really, it's Target Field is, and I haven't been to. I mean, I've probably been to 12 MLB stadiums, but Target Field's up there with one of the best ones. It's just they did a great job with that place.
I would like to go to some of those other areas, like way up in left field, that the bar
Yeah,
that's
they've got a
way
couple
up
of
in the
bars up
corner,
there.
and they have
Yep.
they have like a fire pit up there when it's cold. There's different areas around the park. There's that little area out in right center that's actually there's not very many seats there. There's only like 3 rows, but it's like a club back in there. It's kind of cool. Okay, so at any rate, so we're not going to have a show next week, but then we talked about we're still going to do this. We're going to go down to the Crescent Moon at some point and do a show from down there. So
that'd be great.
That'll be coming up here in the next month or so, and then we'll start breaking down the Big East here shortly, because hey, summer's almost over by that time. When you get into July, by that time, hopefully all the teams will be set.
Yeah. I think most of the Big East teams are probably set by now, but
I was going to tell Ty, I said, you should have hung out. You could have swooped in and took Quinterly's place.
These kids are something else.
So at any rate, that's we know what our roster is now. We know we've already got a recruit lined up for next year. That's good. We're off to a good start there. And CWS, you went to CWS game, right?
I did. I went to 2. I went to last Monday night, the first LSU Wake Forest game, and then I did Saturday night, the first championship game. So Saturday night was awesome. It was like an LSU home game. So many LSU fans. It was crazy. It sounds like Florida is up early tonight.
I can't believe yesterday that place wasn't empty and by midway through the 5th inning.
Yeah, that was a beatdown.
I guess the only thing that helped was the weather wasn't that warm yesterday, so it was bearable.
Have you gone at all?
No, I haven't. I have not. But I will report that Joey Gallo just hit one out of the park against the Braves. It's 1-0 Twins. I have not, and obviously I won't. Did you see, this is totally kind of off topic, maybe a little bit, but did you see the Adrian Martinez had the garage sale? Did you hear about this?
No.
So he advertises on Twitter, hey, garage sale tomorrow at such and such an address. Well, I didn't know that. Turns out my nephew lived right across the street from him. He's taking pictures. He's taking pictures of the line of people down the street and down the block waiting to get into this thing. They sold everything in like 2 hours. He had just tons of Husker gear, like a lot of stuff with Martinez on it, a lot of game-worn stuff, practice-worn stuff.
Where was this at?
It was over in South Papillion.
Why would Adrian Martinez have a garage sale in Papillion?
I believe someone said that was his girlfriend's parents' house or something, or girlfriend. I don't know, some deal.
Oh, interesting.
Anyway.
Okay.
Kind of interesting.
Hey, good for him. He can probably monetize the heck out of that stuff.
Yeah.
Despite the fact he never won
forever.
Despite the fact he didn't win any games while he was there.
The TV people were there. Crazy.
It is so crazy. And listen, I'm a Nebraska football guy, as you know, but just the fawning over them is just so bizarre to me. I mean, I'm about at a 9 for 10 clip every single time. It couldn't matter any time of the year. It could be April, it could be May, it could be right now, it could be the middle of March Madness. When I turn on 1620 just randomly, which I don't listen to often, they will have somebody on talking Husker football in some way, shape, or form.
I've always said that, and I somewhat get that. Okay? Like when we started our show there, we heard from people that the daytime people were told you have to talk Husker football every day. Not the whole show, but at
In
least
some capacity. Yeah.
yes. Okay. Get that a little bit, but even, I'm thinking like I couldn't take our show 5 days a week, just talking crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
and that's what we even talk different things. You know what I mean?
no, I can't.
Like
Yeah.
I just don't know what you're going to talk about, besides the third string linebacker who's never going to play. I don't get it. I don't get it. But anyway, what we will do is we will have we'll probably try and get some people to come down to the Crescent Moon with some giveaways and some other things.
That'd be good.
Yeah. I've always said, getting back to your point, I know what I was trying to say. You just mentioned March Madness. I always say, if you're doing a sports talk show and you don't talk March Madness Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of that week, I'm sorry, you're missing the boat. Your whole show has, unless something hugely breaks in the NBA or hockey or baseball, whatever, you have to talk.
Yeah, a vast majority of it should be about that. I agree.
I think the whole show, you should pick brackets, have people on picking brackets, and that's what people want to hear.
I would agree.
That's what they want to talk about. And that's just how crazy the NCAA tournament is built over there. I remember when it first started, went to 64. I mean, nobody knew what was going to happen. Everybody thought, oh, who's going to want to watch basketball all day long in the afternoon on Thursday and Friday? Well, it turned out everybody did.
Yep.
It was great. What else you got, Ross? Anything?
Not much. Kind of dog days of summer here.
I think I saw a tweet. There's only very few season tickets left for volleyball, which is outstanding.
Good for them.
That's another thing at the BJB Banner Golf Tournament. We give away season tickets to the different sports. So if you're looking for some, great place to come and win them in a raffle.
The number I saw was 99 seats left for season tickets.
And I'm sure basketball will be very, very big seller this year too.
Typically are, especially with the top 10 team.
Yeah. So everything going big time on the Hilltop.
Basketball.
Yeah. No, I was talking women's basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think they at least discussed putting a cap. By the way, we're still efforting Marcus, but he's a busy guy. But I think that was one time they were talking about putting a cap on the season tickets because they always wanted that ability to have 3,000, 2,000, however many walk-up tickets where people can come up and buy tickets and go to the game.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's it, gentlemen. We want to thank our sponsors, Equibank. We take banking personally, West Pacific Dental Group, and Infusion Brewery, who affiliated with Crescent Moon, who we talked about. Like we said, we're going to take next week off, and then the following week we'll be back on, and then we'll hopefully have a date when we'll be down at Crescent Moon to do our show.
That'd be great. Yeah, we need to get that on the books.
Yep, absolutely.